Hi everybody, this is Lightstar, and welcome back to my two-part series on Plight of the Intuitive Empath. And we're going to be talking today about releasing and shielding. As in our first video in part 1, we talked about what's yours and what's theirs, and how to decipher the difference to get more clarity on who you are, how you feel. As we mentioned in that first part where we talked about the intuitive empath and what that means, and also about ways that you can become more aware of your emotional style and to really understand that better, that helps you to cope better as well. So now we're going to move in today to, now we're assuming you are an intuitive empath and that you have become that sponge, and that sponge has become so large and absorbent with all of the emotions, i.e. water, but also emotions and energies of other people that are all like just expanded into this sponge, and now it's become you. So you have become this sort of, you've become sponged with emotion. So now we're going to talk about how to release all of that and some ways to shield yourself from that not even becoming, to prevent that buildup in the first place. Because there are ways that you can help so that that sponge doesn't start to absorb so much to the extreme as well. So I want to dive right in because I have a lot of different techniques and tips to share. Some of them I know that you guys will probably already know about and that probably are already using them. Some maybe some new things here. And so let's just dive in, okay? So the very first thing I want to say is when you become so absorbed in this sponge, you know, all the emotions and all the craziness of everybody else, their anger, their fear, even their happiness, okay? So it's not to say, you know, but I'm talking about most of the time, we're not that concerned if we're absorbing somebody else's happiness, okay? That's like, yay, okay? But it's only going to be affecting us to the point where it's negatively affecting us when it's their emotions that are more on the lower vibrational side of things, which is going to be about the anger, the fear, the jealousies, the, you know, sadness, the grief, the pain, the loss, all that stuff. When those things get built up in us, that causes a very different thing than if we get all sorts of buildup of happiness, joy, peace, love. We don't have those issues. So it's more of a concern on the lower vibrational scale of the emotions. So let's look at that. The very first thing that I feel is very important for people is when you have become that sponge and so absorbed, you've got to get into nature. Nature, 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 because nature nurtures, right? So we're going to actually need to get you into the forest, the trees, the ocean, someplace on the land, someplace where you can actually experience grass, moss, earth, just something where you can actually be connected to Mother Earth. Because the earth, and those of you that know about earthing, is really wonderful, and as well as earthing mats and different things that you can use to actually stay a little bit more grounded to the earth will actually really help the energies of an intuitive empath. But getting on the land and literally sitting down on Mother Earth or on the sand if you're on the, you know, the beach or even in the water, and placing your hands on Mother Earth and just feeling all of the energies draining out of you. So we're going to be just, it's a visual, but it's also an energetic, and, you know, where you're actually physically sitting, but putting your hands, not just sitting there, but putting your hands down and seeing and feeling all of this energy draining out like the sponge is being squeezed out, and all of it is going all the way through your arms and out through your hands and even out through your legs and the bottoms of your feet, and releasing it like a waterfall's rushing over you, and just releasing it and blessing Mother Earth for taking this. Don't worry about, a lot of people have trouble with like, oh, I don't want to put that into Mother Earth because, you know, she has enough problems as it is. right? Yeah, she does. But if we give honor and we give grace and we give thanks and gratitude for this process, we honor her for her power and her ability to transform and to transmute these energies even. So don't worry about it, because she knows how to transmute the energies better than we do. And she can deal with it. As you haven't noticed, the earth is quite large, quite larger than we are, even if we put all of our bodies together. I don't know the answer to that, but thinking about putting all of our bodies together, would that equal the mass of the earth? I don't think so. Anyways, so getting on the earth and letting that release and letting the emotions release out. Sometimes you might feel like you're crying, letting that go, or maybe you feel angry, or maybe you feel a little bit depression while that's happening, because it's running through your entire system. But you need to get that out of your body, and earth nature is one of the best ways. So I put that at number 1, because no matter where you are, and it doesn't matter literally if it's snowing out. I know it'll be cold, but you can literally go out into the snow and you can bundle up and still put gloves on and then put your hands on the earth. It's better if you don't have, if you have a direct connection, but it'll still work, okay? So it doesn't matter where you are, or if you don't have any connection to, everybody can go to a park, someplace, okay? Very, very important. Sit on the earth and release it and let it go, giving thanks and gratitude for Mother Earth. Huge, huge thing. Now, a lot of you guys like to use crystals, and crystals are another very powerful way to release and let go, to that emotion and that all of the emotions in the sponge will release into the crystal, but make sure you clear the crystal, because crystals are just like us. So they will also absorb it and then we'll take it for us, just like Mother Earth. But crystals are a little smaller, if you haven't noticed. Not that you're going to be carrying around the size of a crystal, the size of Mother Earth in your hand, perhaps you don't have to, but really you'll need to clean your crystals and putting them in salt water, unless they're the ones that dissolve in salt water, and don't put those in salt water. But allowing the most basic ones are the quartz crystals, but also the black tourmalines and any of the black stones like jet and onyx and all that kind of stuff that actually absorbs negative energies will be really good for this as well, to give it that sort of task and sort of hold it in your hands and allow it to kind of absorb in there, and then clean it every single time that you do that. Very important. Okay, next one, bathtub. Okay, very huge. If you can get into the ocean, then great, sea salt. But if you don't, get into the bathtub and put Himalayan crystal salts in your bath. I recommend the Himalayan crystal salt. If you're going to come to me for a session, I'm going to tell you to get into the tub after every single one of our sessions and use the Himalayan crystal salt. Unless you are a mermaid connected, then I will say yes, you might want to use the Celtic sea salt because mermaids tend to do better with the Celtic sea salt, and they react to it very, very much so, and so in a good way, and so it's a very good release for them. But getting into the Himalayan crystal salt bath will also help you to release all of this garbage and seeing it flowing out into the water and releasing all of that energies of everybody else, and including your own stuff. Okay, this is all not just everybody else's stuff, because remember, in that sponge, you are the sponge. So you're in there somewhere too. So your emotions and your energies, now that we've deciphered your emotions and your energies in the first part, that the video that I did, you have a little clearer idea of what's yours, but it's still in there. And we want to release some of that stuff too, so it can be cleansed. So, so getting into the bathtub, releasing your emotions, everybody else's emotions, and letting that flow out, you will feel tenfold so much better. So now I want to share a technique that I teach in my sessions, so you're getting this one for free. But this is actually a really powerful way to help to shield yourself when you are in contact and interaction with another. So you are in contact with somebody else and you say any kind of conversation, any kind of meeting. This could be intimate relationships, whatever conversations you're having with someone. what you want to do is you want to put a pink and green light, just a pink and green colored light in front of you and the other person, or it's, you know, in front of you and then the other person's on the other side of you, so it's in between the two of you. And it's going to be like a shield. But this pink and green light has a purpose. And what the purpose is so that their emotion, the other person you're speaking with, interacting with, their emotions, all of their stuff does not come fully and completely into you. But what happens is that their emotion, if you put this wall of green, and sometimes people can do better with the visualization of plants, like a big ivy plant that's like a shield in front of you or something in that nature, or a big pink heart, where the combination of the two is really good. So what happens is that their information, or their negative energies, their anger, frustration, whatever, is coming towards you. It's going to hit this wall of this absorption kind of shield wall. You're going to visualize it kind of flowing back to them and sending love back to them. So that what happens is it never comes past that point. It doesn't mean this pink and green light will be enough to where you can still empathize. You can still experience, okay, I get it. It's not like it's going to shut you off from feeling altogether. We don't want that. We want to be able to feel and understand and empathize. We just don't want it coming all the way in and letting the permeable become very thin and just absorb right through us. So we don't want to do that, but we want to put this light up between us, this little wonderful shield that actually sends love back to them. And so what will happen is that they'll start to feel better. But you didn't take it on. So you don't have to take that stuff on. Some people want to, and they do, but we don't really have to. We can send it back in love, and as long as you have that love going back to them, and that can actually help them so much better, and that you still feel strong within your own energy, and you didn't kind of weaken yourself by taking on and absorbing all their other stuff. It's very powerful. I highly recommend you use it. It takes a little bit of practice, because once you put that visualization there, you don't have to keep thinking about it as you're having the conversation. But in the beginning, it is helpful to kind of know that it's there, knowing it's doing its job. If you do it enough, you kind of put it there, and you don't have to keep putting it back, because you'll get used to it being there, and you'll get used to yourself feeling much better in your interactions. Very, very powerful if you're using it in client work as well. Okay, so that's a really good one. The other one I want to recommend is that doing guided visualizations and meditations that are specific for releasing work. Now, I have one that's for free. Some of you may have downloaded it already, but it's on my website, and it is a totally free download for my, I created this guided visualization called the Galactic Shield and Reconnection guided visualization. And it wasn't necessarily for this purpose, because it was more for actually releasing negative energies and fears and all of that, but also to bringing in the positive energies. It's working with the blue light and also the golden light. And so it kind of has a twofold, it's only 15 minutes long. It's very good for this kind of thing as well, though. So if you're feeling overly absorbed from emotions, then you can actually use this guided visualization, run through it, and your body will feel like a release. It will kind of release some of the energies out, and will also empower you. So it's working with empowering of your higher self, of bringing in your higher self energies, bringing in more of the higher vibrational energies, and your connection to divine source, directly reconnecting you. So it's very powerful, and I highly recommend you guys do it. It's free, so why not? And it's really powerful, especially right before bedtime, for you to kind of release for everything from the day. So that's one thing you can check out. This is the one most important thing that I found that helped me, and I developed this myself. So it is my light language chakra clearing that I actually do in session work. But to be honest with you, the reason why this came about, I was speaking light languages, yes, and that was coming through, and they gave me my higher self, and the information that was coming through was put through a type of system that actually goes through the entire chakra system with the light languages and clears all the mucky muck out of the way. Very powerful. But how I came about this is that I started to do it for myself. I'm an intuitive empath. Why else would I be doing these videos, right? If you haven't figured that out by now. So I actually created this for me because it was so helpful. And I started to find that when I was doing this for myself, sound or toning and using the voice and associating them with the particular chakras was like, wow, I felt like a totally different person after I did this. I just felt everything just kind of released, and everything was much more open, and I wasn't so shut down and so clamped down because I had, been too absorbed, and then there wasn't anything left. So it was like shut down. And this really helped to clear. So I have that on my website. If you guys want to I can run that through with you as one of my sessions. I use that in my session work, and it's so powerful, so I highly recommend it. But even if you don't want to do my stuff, getting to work on the chakras. The chakras are where all of the energy from everybody else and ourselves gets stored, and it gets stuffed into a closet. So it is just like having a closet. You're either going to have your closet clean, or you're going to have your closet filled to the brim to where you can't even open the door because everything's just going to fall out and be all over the place. So we want to help to clean that closet out, but we want to make sure that it's cleaned out and not just scattered all over the place. So that working on the chakras and each particular one to clean them out and what they're, particularly what you're storing in them from other people, and especially those of you who do client work, okay? So no matter how great you are, you're still going to have residual. You're still going to have, because it's pretty hard. So to not have anything. So from other people, especially intuitive empaths. So just know these are techniques that you're going to have to continually do. I would say on a daily basis, if you can, that's ideal. Daily basis will keep you super clean and you won't have buildup. If you don't do it on a daily basis, maybe in every other day is fine too. But if you don't do it for months on end, you are for sure going to have all this excess buildup, and you've got to have a way to release it. Otherwise, it's going to come out in some nasty way. And the nasty ways it's going to come out as you are going to be explosive anger, or you do the opposite where you just retreat and you don't have any, you can't even socialize anymore. So really powerful doing chakra work. I cannot emphasize that enough. Getting that emotion out of the chakras and scrubbing them clean as best you can. Another really helpful tool is using what's called a Biomat. I have one, and there's people around that do session work with just the Biomat. The Biomat is extremely helpful for releasing stress. It's a mat that you put on a massage table, and you lay on it, turn it on. It's infrared heat, and it has channels of, mine has amethyst and tourmaline both in it. So when it heats up, it has the properties of the grounding tourmaline with the amethyst healing, and it's very good for clearing energies out of the way. So that's a really powerful thing to use. I'd also say there are things that we all know about, like sage and sweetgrass and incense and all of that. I myself want to say the most important, powerful one to clear negative emotions for me and for, what I found is the Palo Santo. Burning the Palo Santo with the wood is, for me, much better clearing negative emotions. Now, sage does a great job too, but for some reason, when I really want to clear something, I use sage all the time and I love it. But if you want to really clear something specifically, there's negative emotions, toxic emotions, that kind of stuff. For some reason, Palo Santo has more of a punch in that arena. So that's also very helpful. You use it in a spray if you don't like to burn stuff or whatever, but spraying your vicinity around your house constantly, okay, clearing the energies out, very important. The other thing that comes into play, sound healing. And any kind of sound, vibration, like I said, the light language chakra clearing that I use is very helpful because it's using sound and I'm directing it right into each chakra. So if you're not going to use that, you can still use toning. You can use tinctures. You can use any kind of crystal bowls, Tibetan bowls, any kind of sound. The gongs are really, God, I don't know if you've ever been to a gong bath before, but oh my gosh, I haven't been to one for a long time. Those things just sort of reverberate all this stuff out of you. It's a very powerful, very powerful. Sound healing of any kind will actually really help. But all these things have to be utilized on a regular basis. Reminder, once again. And then another, this is very helpful also, is when you're in interaction with somebody. This is kind of a shielding kind of thing, but it also is a releasing thing too. Where if they're angry or frustrated, confused, sad, depressed, all those lower vibrations are going on, and you feel it. Because when you start to become aware, you start to begin to feel this stuff coming in. It's almost like a wave that just goes, woof, 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 it comes into you. Now, before it hits you, it's almost like this cosmic wave that comes for you. It's coming for you, literally. Because it knows where it is, like, oh, open place. Okay, this person's open. So you want to take a nice deep breath in. And I mean, most of us, when we start feeling those things, we tense up, we clench up, we stop, we like tense. What we want to do is breathe. So there's going to have to be a big breath. If you feel that wave coming towards you, you're going to have to take a deep breath in and a very deep exhale out. And I want you to actually visualize you breathing that out and breathing it away from you. So it's another tool to use to shield yourself. And it's okay if they're, talking about this and all this stuff's stressing you out and you feel it coming to you, and you're sitting there talking to them, and all of a sudden you just go, so what do they think that was kind of interesting, but you want to get it away from you. You want it, it's telling and signaling your body to relax. It's okay to not take this in fully and completely into your own body. It's really giving a nice signal that there's a nice little thing that happens when you deep breathe. Those of you that are into deep breathing, particularly breathing in through the nose, from the lower belly, and then the large out breath. It actually relaxes you right away and stops you from tensing up and clenching up and clamping down, and that actually causes more of the energies to come and stay stuck in your body. With the breathing, you allow that to kind of breathe, literally, and not breathing it in, but allowing it to have that shielding so that it doesn't come into you, sort of blowing it away, in other words, feeling like the wind, that you're just kind of gently blowing it out the door or out the window or wherever you want to visualize it. So lots of great tips here on helping you to release and to shield from the sponginess that you've absorbed, or the emotions that you've absorbed and become the sponge. So hopefully this is helping you guys to at least do me a favor, all you intuitive empaths or those that have any inkling from this series, this part 1 and part 2, that you will pick at least one of these things that I have recommended or suggested. Just pick one and implement it. And I mean implement it on a regular basis, every day or every other day. And even some of these things can take like 5 minutes, but you really want to focus it. If you're doing it only for 5 minutes, make that 5 minutes be quality 5 minutes, and really focus and really put your energy and really like hone it in so that you feel that emotion draining out of your body, or you feel it dissipating from your body. Don't just do it for sake of doing it. Actually do it with intention and quality so that you will actually release. So what ends up happening when you do this is that you will start to feel your energy relaxing, and you will start to feel more at ease around other people, even if they're going through their own stuff. It won't bother you as much, even though you may still have to retreat and kind of put yourself away from it. I'm not saying now you can just put yourself in front of every negative thing that you can find. Well, you still may have to, like, let's be smart about it. But in the same token, it'll help you to be a little bit stronger when you are encountering those negative emotions from other people, and how to release and let go. So I think that's it. So again, if you guys want to put your comments in, and if anyone has any other suggestions, put the comments in to help the other people so that they can actually start to implement some of these too. And if you would like to work with me further, I would love to help you on your path with this. My website is lightstarcreations.com, and you can go there and check out all of my session work that I do, and all of the extra things if you want to do the light language chakra activation, or I have a nice light language audio activation, which is also really clearing and helpful, and any of my other sessions or my artwork or any of the goodies on there. So it has been my pleasure to bring this to you. I'll probably be bringing some more videos, some not exactly the same topic, but so let me know how you guys like this, and I will talk to you guys really soon on the flip side. So in the meantime, take very good care of yourselves. Do not become the sponge, okay? That's the biggest lesson here. Prevent becoming the overinflated sponge. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you very soon. Namaste.